In this video, we are going to understand try and except blocks inside the Python. As a developer, you must have come across this kind of errors in a code. So how can we fix this kind of error? Because as a developer, we may understand why this error is coming, but if some end user is trying to execute this code, they will not have an idea about why this error is coming. So we might need to provide some meaningful errors to the user. That is where we are going to learn try and except blocks. Using try without except is like driving a car with no seat belt. If something unexpected happens, you crash hard. Except is the seat belt. It doesn't it doesn't stop the crash, but it keeps you safe and lets you recover. So this is the structure we will follow in the try and except blocks, where the try will be the block where your code, it will contain a code that might fail. In case if get fails, we will get the error. That time it will execute this except block. This except block will handle those errors. And in case if there is no error, then this else block will be get executed. And irrespective of whether I'm getting error or not getting error, whether it is executing except block or whether it is using else block, this finally will get executed. So ideally try will be having some code, and which, if for example if you are trying to access some file or if you are trying to access some table from the database, and if that file or table does not exist, it is going to throw the error. In case if the error occurs, we can perform some except block where we will tell what it should do if the file is not exist, or what it should do if the table is not exist. So this will be taken care in the except block. And if everything works, you have those tables or files exist, then it will perform the else related code. And once this all things are done, we will be going through the finally block, because it will get executed irrespective of the states. And inside finally you can close those file connections or the database connections. Now, can we raise our own exceptions? Yes, we can use this raise statement to create our own exceptions. The raise statement lets you manually trigger an exception in your code. So this is the syntax where you will be using raise as a keyword, and we will be passing exception type, and inside this will be your custom error message. And this kind of raise, we can use it to enforce some of the business rules, to stop execution on invalid data, and bubble up errors to be handled elsewhere. Now let's go to the demo part where I will actually show the code and I will show how you can fix it. So here I'm writing a small code where I'll be taking two inputs from, where I'll be taking input from user, and we will perform the division where I'm going to divide to the value 10, and I'll be taking this number 2 from the user. So I'll use input function and we'll say enter the number. So this number will be coming from the user, and inside result I will have number 1 divided by number 2. Okay, this is the thing. Now the number 2 also needs to be an integer, so here I will put it as int. This will make sure that number 2 is an integer and it will perform the division, and whatever result comes, that we are going to print. So I'll put this print result. Okay, this is the very small program and I'm gonna run it now. Okay, so it will ask me, I'm passing the number as a 2, so it is dividing number 10 with the 2, and this is the result we are getting. Now let's rerun this code, and suppose I'm passing the number as a 0. So it is not possible to divide any of the number with the 0, right? If you run this, you come across this error where it is giving as 0 division error. Division by 0 is not possible, but this is making my code crash, right? So what we can do here is we can just use the try block to perform this activity. So this try block will perform this division. In case if I'm getting an error, the, we are getting this zero division error. So I can add it here, zero division error, and I can put the message that something which is meaningful, that we can ask user provide non-zero value, or we can say okay, provide non-zero value. This will make sure that user will not provide zero. Okay, and it will print the result here. Okay, now one more thing is that I'll just define my result variable with value 0. Initially it will be 0. Now let's run this code. So here I will pass the 0. Now you can see that it is giving me error message that provide non-zero value. Now thing is that we have this try, we have this except, so we also can include else part. So else, now if you see, I'm getting this error and at the same time I'm getting this 0 as well, but I want that my result value should be get printed only when this try block works fine. So if this try block works fine, it will come to the else statement and will print the result. If it doesn't work, it will just print the error. Let's rerun this code and see. Right now I am passing some meaningful value. The result is coming 5.0. Now if I rerun this code and I am passing 0, so I just got a message that provide non-zero value. It is not going to this else block, it is just executing this except block. And if we add something as an finally, this will print irrespective of any of the blocks gets executed, whether it executes except or whether it is executing else statement. This else finally block will get executed. So here we can put just thank you for testing. Now let's run this code. So here I'm passing something which is greater than 0. So here you can see that we are getting the result in the result form, and the in else block will get executed, and after else finally block is getting executed. Okay, now if I rerun and I will pass the 0 to my code, you can see I'm getting this a message that please provide non-zero value, and at the same time it will come to the finally block and it will say thank you for testing. So this is how try except else finally works. So these are the some tips you can follow when you are going through this try except block. Don't use a bare except. As you have seen in our code that we are actually passing what is the exact error validation we need to do, and accordingly we are passing the value for this except. Always be specific with the exception, so you can provide what exceptions it is giving. Use try only around risky code, not whole function. So you should always try first to make use of if else conditions. You can try with the if condition. Only when the if does not work is the time where you can use these try blocks. If you like this video, please if you like this video, please click on like or subscribe, and if you have any suggestions, please comment below. Thank you.